I'm off to a fabulous start. Hi, I have our collective I Ching reading for this week, the week of March 7th, 2022, from my book, Oracle of Emergence, an evolutionary I Ching. I'm off to a fabulous start. Available on the Amazon. I have our collective I Ching reading for this week, the week of March 7th, 2022, from my book, Oracle of Emergence. This is going really well. Anyway, so an I Ching reading, for those of you not familiar with the I Ching, I throw 3 coins and I just use like super simple, like regular pennies, right? I throw all 3 coins 6 times. Heads are worth 3, tails are worth 2. I add them up. Sounds complicated. It's really not. I'll do a longer video on how to do this eventually, but not today. And you get either a solid yang line or an open yin line like you see at the top there. So this week's hexagram is 43, which is pop. So let's read pop. The last couple of weeks, I've been doing these for a little bit now. There's been this progression of this like thawing, which is like completely emerging from the ecology of the season, right? So we have this coming out and then clearing. And then, okay, what's still in the system? What still needs to be cleared? The more we step out, the more we notice the stagnant things that are still stuck. And so this week is about really seeing what those stagnant things are and clearing them. All right, this is pop the pimple, decisive, total, quick, squeeze out the pus, no trace of stagnation left behind. Tension has built to the point where action is inevitable, decisive, incisive, swift. It's time for the sword, lance the boil. Pop and adulting, hexagram 7, are the 2 places in the I Ching where force is required. Like normally in the I Ching, it's like, okay, let's step back, soften, and just notice what's emerging. But these are 2 spots where it's time to take your own 2 little hands and do a little squeezing to get some of that stagnation out, to actually put your back into it a little bit. Have you been living like an ingrown hair, afraid to put yourself out there? Just when you get close, do you turn inward again toward old habits? That time is over. The crisis is here. Is your retraction a trauma response? What is trauma anyway? An impact that you could neither absorb nor metabolize, so an injury is left behind. It swells. The injury lasts long after the impact has passed, buried under the skin. The tissue at the point of impact is damaged. Pus comes with its white blood cells to cushion and heal, but sometimes that cushioning becomes painful swelling, and the process intended to heal just drives the injury deeper. Like an addiction to sex, romance, eating, gambling, shopping, so many things. The inflammation and amplification seem healing at first, but over time, not so much. Stop doubling down on numbing and distraction. Stop doubling down on numbing and distraction. It's time to lance the boil. In the structure of the hexagram, the solid lines are pushing out the yin line at the top. See, that's your open yin line, and these are your solid yang lines. They're pushing out the yin line at the top. They are forcing her out into the light with light. This is a hexagram of brash masculine certainty, decisive action. It's a one-way push with a trajectory of an arrow. The yin line doesn't stand a chance. Ejaculation time is here. Too late for the momentum to be diverted. Don't take your mouth off him now, honey. That's just mean. Yin and yang are in a power struggle in pop and surrender, the next hexagram, 44. They're thinking about breaking up. Pop is stark and bright and merciless. It's the sun from which you can't find shade. Yin has grown swampy at the top and yang is over it. The traditional image also suggests transverberation, a human penetrated by source, fucked open. You may feel fucked right now. Good. Don't turn away. Let this crisis fuck you completely. Let it show you the limits of your skin and how those limits explode. Find the pleasure in the pimple popping, the deep release that's been a long time coming. Are you ignoring your own inner knowing about a situation? Are you afraid if you do what you know you must, people will disapprove? Are you a people pleaser? I do a boundaries course on that. You should come join me for boundaries and belonging. I do it once a month. Are you afraid you'll seem arrogant, that you'll be lonely? Maybe you will. This is a case of moving decisively and apologizing later if need be. This is an anti-people pleasing hexagram. Assert your damn self without tipping over into arrogance. Consider others' well-being, but not their opinions. The energy of the transmission is bigger than you. It's searing on through, cutting a hot, bright path through anything that stands in its way. This baby is about to blow. And I just find it so interesting that how the collective I Ching readings are usually in keeping with the feeling of the season. Like there's one that's 24, which is for the winter solstice. And then you see this like progression outward. The next one is budding. And that's kind of what the period of time that we're in right now. So this is like an indication that clearing the pathway, clearing the soil, clearing out last year's growth from the garden so that the fresh budding can come through without impediment. It's kind of exciting because, wow, you know how they say nature abhors a vacuum? Well, nature doesn't really abhor a vacuum. Nature loves a vacuum so much that she will come in and fill it as soon as you empty it. Every time you empty your cup, nature will come and refill it. She's a very good hostess that way. So what needs to be cleared out this week? Where's the ingrown hair? Where's that pain point? Where's that pressure that you're feeling somewhere in your life? Where's that spring cleaning that needs to happen, not just among objects, but among relationships as well? Where are the relationships that have grown stagnant? And is that something that can be addressed with a person? Or is it time to really set and hold a boundary? Are you worried about displeasing that person and that you won't be able to metabolize that disapproval? Oof. I'll be back here again doing this next week because this is fun. Why not, right? Here's the book, Oracle of Emergence and Evolutionary I Ching, available at Amazon. I have a new episode of the Fuck Suffering podcast, which comes out every Tuesday. So that'll come out tomorrow. I have a new Fuck Suffering group that's starting next Tuesday. And once a month, I teach boundaries and belonging. Come to my website, rayhance.com, to check it out. Meanwhile, I'll see you next week. Enjoy the popping. It's very